Hello everybody, it's your boy the Catic One, and I got the face cam in here. That's nice. If you hear some rustling, my cat's trying to play with the mic cord. I'll have to grab her. Hold up. Ugh. This is my cat. She's young, likes to play with everything. Okay, hopefully that solved the situation. But today we're going to be doing the Q&A. We have a couple questions. We got 1, 2, 3, we got 4. With one slide having multiple questions, and 2 questions you have the same person, which is fine. I do not condone that. I want that, actually. Ask multiple questions. Doesn't matter. I'll probably do this for every time I hit a milestone, so when we hit 300 subscribers, I'll do this again. But let's go on answering our first question from OK. Who do you think would win the Republican Tennessee Senate primary, Marshall Blackburn or Ben Shapiro? I want to go with Marshall Blackburn. I think Ben Shapiro doesn't have enough name recognition. Now, this all hinges on if this race becomes a national race, and if it does, and the debates are hardly watched, and because there's no way in hell Marshall Blackburn is beating Ben Shapiro in a debate. We all know this, and I think no one should debate Ben Shapiro unless they feel like they won't get embarrassed. I'm looking at you, Cenk Uygur. But if it doesn't, I think Marshall Blackburn will easily win. If it does, it'll be a lot more closer. Maybe tilt Blackburn if it becomes a national primary race like the Massachusetts primary race in 2020. But that's who I think would win. Going on to the next question by... You kind of can't see that. Let me just move this down a little bit. From Thiz Lawrence. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right correctly. He's got a couple questions as well as one from Twitter, and I'll answer them all. What party do you identify as? I am a registered Republican, but I'm kind of a Trumpist, Rockefeller, liberal Republican. I have some liberal stances as well as Trumpian stances, so it's contradictory, I know, but trust me. Who are your top picks for the Republican and Dem nominees in 2024? I think Jim Justice is the best choice for 2024. The more I think about it, the more it just makes sense for me. Does better in suburbs, do better with the military vote. Donald Trump actually lost the military vote. Probably does better with the LGBT vote as well, because guess what? Donald Trump won 14% in 2016 and then jumped up to 30% in 2020. Look it up, it's true. And I think Jim Justice would get around 35 to 40%, unless he starts campaigning on anti-LGBT legislation. Then he probably goes down past what Donald Trump was in 2016. More likely. For the Democrats, it used to be Andrew Yang. I thought Andrew Yang was gonna be at least my top pick for the Democrat nomination, and then he came in 4th in the New York City primary. So that kind of went down the tube. Tulsi Gabbard is just hated by Democrats, so she would probably not be a good choice, even though I personally like Tulsi Gabbard myself. Maybe Sherrod Brown? Maybe? Possibly Amy Klobuchar, or any of the, Tammy Baldwin would also be a good choice. There's a lot of people, I just don't have that answer right now. Best third party. Can I say independent party? I think, if I had to guess, you're talking about current day third parties. And there's really not that many good ones. I'd have to say the American Solidarity Party. I don't know. I just like that party. Don't have anything bad to say about them. That's just me. I know it's a weird one. Ever consider running for office? If so, what office? All of them. Fun fact, the county chairman of the GOP from my county, I'm not going to say what it is, he's kind of like trying to get me to run for a countywide office in 2024, which I probably will, whether that's a Board of Education or a county commissioner. Haven't decided which one yet, so just wait for news on that. Political compass test results. I did this for my 200th... Ow! My cat just climbed up on my leg and I'm wearing shorts. Ow! That hurts. I did it for my 100 subscriber special. So I'll just throw up the screens on post right now. Is it on there? Good. So there. He also has another question that I posted. Hey, I'm doing a Q&A on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. And he said, what should be the 51st U.S. state be? Now, realistically, there are two areas in the country that have any sort of potential at gaining statehood, because Republicans are dumb and don't want to add any more states, even though there are quite a few areas they could add on that would actually help them. Those two being D.C. and Puerto Rico. And I honestly think Puerto Rico should be the next state, because it has a fair history of going back and forth from Republican to Democrat to Republican, Democrat. Because I'm pretty sure their new Progressive Party is very right-winged. So I think instead of having, I think many are saying, oh, Puerto Rico statehood, it's going to be all Democrat. I really don't think so. I really think that, like right now, definitely, because I think both shadow senators are Democrats, and they only have one shadow representative, but they're gonna get more if they become a statehood. I think they'll get at least 4, because I think they have around the same sort of population as states like Nevada, Utah, and Iowa. That's how I see it. So I think we'll get at least, I think it'll be like 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. Then we'll have 2 Dem senators, and then a Democrat governor. And then we'll probably see a couple Senates. Then we'll have their Senate seats be like battlegrounds, where it'll be bounced back and forth between Democrat and Republican, unless we get a very popular one. So that's how I look at it. So I do think Puerto Rico should be the 51st state on a realistic standpoint. And the final question sent to me by Politics Made Simple. By the way, go subscribe to this person. He has a YouTube channel, so go subscribe to him. Favorite president post-World War II? There's a couple that I'm thinking of. There's like a few. We've got, realistically, I gotta go with Reagan. I was gonna say Kennedy and Johnson, but Kennedy didn't do much in his first 2 years, which kind of sits him back when it comes to, hey, how great of a president was he? Some people didn't understand that when I made my worst presidents versus the ranking every president's video. Some people didn't understand that. They really didn't. But it's fine. They don't listen either, so that's fine. So I'm going to say Reagan. I think he did a lot during his time. Though there was a bad thing he did, and that was giving nuclear, or just giving any sort of arms. I don't know if it was like regular arms, like weapons, or if it was nuclear arms. I don't think it was nuclear arms, and which he gave it to Iran, which terrorists got a hold of many years later, and then 9/11 happened. One of the only bad things he did, as well as calling Africans monkeys, that was bad. That also sets him back on the president list. I think I had him at like 5, so I think he would be like probably number 10. That's bad. It's really bad. And usually I'd be like, well, he didn't do that as president, but he did say that as president. Kind of like how Abe Lincoln said how blacks, the current slaves back then, couldn't ever integrate within the United States, so his plan was to ship them back to Africa. He said that as president, so it counts. But it probably Reagan. Either that or Johnson, because of his signing of voting rights legislation, which I think if Kennedy survived, he also would have gotten that done. And every time I see a video when it talks about if JFK lived, everybody say, "Oh, JFK would never be able to do this. He doesn't have that power. He doesn't have that power like LBJ does." And they forget about that. LBJ was the vice president and the president of the Senate. So if JFK asked him to, or if LBJ just felt like it, he could just do the same thing he did as president of the same thing he did as president, and just get in people's face and threaten them to vote for this, just like he did in real life. Just saying. But yeah, that was the Q&A, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go find that 100 sub special video and add it to post. This is the Cat One saying, peace.